And it's some of the most evil shit to keep me out that timeline. Very fucked up shit. A conspiracy is just... That's why I say you gotta guard your energy. And it started from a wetback. So our timelines are Pacific Palisades. It originates from there. And then, I remember in 2016, I had nothing but wetbacks come out and proselytize. Oh, you curse. I had blacks and whites doing it, but they were some of the most protuberant and some of the most vicious for no reason. That's why I say I take a very, very, I don't want to say hostile, but very, very reserved stance with them motherfuckers, knowing what they are spiritually, especially now. Given what I'm enduring, I don't go to them for spiritual shit. That shit right off. Keep them out my timelines as much as I can. Because of all this shit. Blazing me in Santa Muerte's realm, I've seen it as a sacrifice, that same green screen shit. But she ain't hard to overcome. I actually was getting fucked with by her in the middle of the night. Really, really, really fucking bad. So I pulled out my, another thing about wetbacks, they can't even use black tourmaline effectively. Because those motherfuckers are energy vampires. And that works very, very effective on energy vampire. I had to go pull out my frankincense and myrrh to get rid of her. I don't have tourmaline myself. I think it does too good of a job. And that's my issue with tourmaline, but I do got obsidian. It's funny too, I was watching an Instagram video about a white guy with, was talking about Satan in some place underground, and it was a very famous place, but it wasn't the Vatican, it was someplace else, with a throne, sitting on a throne made of obsidian. Motherfuckers did something to my energy body, spirit body to mix shit up, confuse shit together. A lot of evil shit. It's a lot of evil shit. I'm not, as much as I want to get back to preaching and all that like I used to, I'm not in a good place. It's a lot of manipulation. I don't have something I'm experiencing. It's all about keeping me out that timeline, and the most recent motherfucker to be employed to do that is that wetback, Maria Tavarez of Parafin. I'm trying to find out what a real name is, because there's power in knowing a person's name. I think the name for people who are part of the network, Santa Muerte network, is Terra Novera or something like that. That's some evil shit to be under, and some scary shit. I remember Baron Samedi noting the worst that he saw was a 2-year-old child trapped in her realm. And it's, you trapped in the realm of muck. I witnessed a poor young lady who was a rape victim who was on the precipice of reporting her rapist. And I rescued her, from out that realm. Used 125 at 1185. I used to do a lot of soul rescue when I would go to jail. I did that for Selena You know, I'm like, some evil motherfuckers. They get envious. They steal their own people's blood. It's toxic. Just look at the origins. I stay as far away from them as possible, especially spiritually, to some degree. If I sense individual and not an organic portal, it's a difference, to some degree. You know, my dad, in his past life, he was from Zacatecas. You know, it's funny how all of that works, but, you know, I've been shown that timeline, and, you know, I had people say, when they ask about, you know, what's going on with the real person, she in the hell realm where, just like with what I saw with Kanye West, Jeff Bezos, I want to talk more about that. I don't feel like, I don't even like seeing this shit, honestly, with the ice raids, because of the, just, overall what's going on. I don't like it. I don't like none of this. This isn't concomitant with my original timeline. You know, it's bigger than just, oh, they collecting wet bags, and this ain't, this, the original Trump, his intentions was to get us back on, you know, from what I recall. All right, the reason why they killed Eminem in 2006 is because he learned of a factoid that would fuck up the Illuminati if he was to reveal it. It was that their whole plan is to kill everybody off. And that's going to be their utopia. That's why they've been buying, you know, all them underground bunkers, woo, and put our souls like aliens do. I was looking at some videos of them fucking Miami aliens. That was the most evil fucking thing. Beware them spaceships. I'm going to tell you that right now. By the way, I learned during this curse as well. The Heru, our ancestors, pilot spaceships, our higher to highest selves, within and externally. You know, there's been times, just like Bobby Hemmett has said, that he's seen that shit. With that being said, you know, I saw one where they had subdued everybody and had them doing synchronistic moves. And they had some people bending in natural fucking ways, you know, manipulating frequencies in the 4D, the 50, and all. That was some, I kept looking at the tapes. I noticed some people's Archangel Michaels were pulling them out. You know, one guy who was destined to do something really, really big, but he wasn't going to be, I think he was going to be somebody who is not very well known, but he's going to kick off something major. He was taken right out by God. I'm going to say something right now. The alien grays you see from Zeta Reticuli, I believe that in a lot of UFOologists, you know, talked about it. Let me try to find the name of that. I have to do something about this wetbag bitch, this Maria Tavarez, a Parafin. With that being said, I'm being fucked with my consciousness, my connection to my God self, which is through my father, whom she removed yesterday. With that being said, I'm going to have to do something about this evil ass wetbag bitch. Those are some evil motherfuckers. From what I understand, she's going to become not an intergenerational curse, but a next life curse, an inter-lifetime curse, incarnation. You know, from what I saw and from what I'm experiencing right now, you know, it's very, very fucked up. You know, my poor dad, after she removed him, you know, he got turned into a fucking dubbick. I saw him in Santa Muerte's room and all of that. And was being used to fuck with me. You know, like I say, that timeline is real. And from what I'm seeing, she keeps, you know, trying to pull him into like a perpetual hell realm. You know, keep him stuck in the perpetual hell realm so that both him and my mother will fuck with me in the next life. I keep hearing past, this is the past life, even though to me, I don't care where the fuck I am. That's still my fucking people. I hate that fucking wetback bitch. That's why boy, the motherfuckers like to play. From what I understand, in she keeps fucking with both of my parents and putting them in hell realms. When I freed them, I keep seeing Mayer Amschel De Rothschild. It's something about he does something where he allows my dad to come out and, acts as my God here from time to time. I got to get this evil shit off. And they keep latching to my great Jewish grandmother, who acts as my highest self, in a way, also as my Swedish past life incarnation. With that being said, this is an evil ass malicious wetback bitch. I hear her doing that. I gotta get this motherfucker out. I gotta get all this evil shit out, but especially her. From what I understand, they opened the day at 8704 Broadway, San Archangel Miguel Botanic. I was being fucked with really, really bad, where my connection to God was about to get removed, involving my father, so I don't have a connection to him. I'm directly under her, like I experienced the other day. I felt the Rothschilds or something, cut them. This is the motherfucker who, from what I understand, whose consciousness my parents are in. And, every time I try to break my parents free, I see Maria Tavarez, a Parafin, guarding it. Sorry about that call dropped, but I swear I just saw him.
Well, I'm almost home now, baby, so I'm going to talk to you maybe tomorrow or the day after. Yeah?
All right. Take care, Mama.
All right, honey. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah, Raven.
Hey, Mom. How are you?
Trying to take a nap. I have to go to work tonight.
Oh, okay. How you been?
I've been okay. How you been?
I've been all right. Trying to find another band, so.
Yeah. Yep. That's life.
Yeah.
That's why people work, and that's why you have to pay bills, and that's why squares like being your daddy still work.
Right. Hold on, let me go ahead and. In him going back to that August 22nd, 2022 timeline. You know, that shit's really, it's real. It's really fucking real. It's like they're trying to get me to alienate from my fucking parents. So I don't have a connection to source. I don't have a connection to shit. With that being said, you know, like I wanted to talk about in Asteroid, I haven't been able to complete it because of how, you know, fucked up my shit is. With that being said, I saw myself, you know, on a boat with red hair, you know, with Nazi symbolism and all of that. And from what I understand, in the next incarnation, be made to hate black people. And I was like, how the fuck is that going to happen? And for some reason, it's because my two parents in that August 22nd, 2022 timeline here. I asked for my parents' natal chart, you know, so I could, you know, show y'all what the fuck is going on. They're going to be turned into Dubboks, meant to haunt me and fuck with me and try to pull me in hell realms. And that's directly because of this Maria Tavarez Parafin motherfucking, I said I can't deny it, the Illuminati's involvement in that timeline and them keeping her in charge of that timeline, that August the 22nd, 2022 timeline to keep me out. You know, also as well, I keep hearing her, this woman, like I said, I believe they opened today, the reader and all of that at 323-778-4498 at San Archangel Miguel Botanica at 8704 Broadway, by 87 and Broadway Street in South Central. They opened today. With that being said, I got to do something to get this evil ass shit off because, I mean, she was trying to give me to hate fucking Hispanics earlier. It's a lot of evil, manipulative shit that's going on, and, you know, I got to get this wetback bitch off. She keeps estranging me from my higher self, but I saw the other day her becoming my he-kate in that timeline and her fucking with me. And doing something, you know, as I said before, turning my parents into Dubboks, give me to hate black people in the next incarnation. So she's going to become some type of incarnation, reincarnation, inter-lifetime curse. I'm forgetting fucking words and all of that shit. And, you know, putting my poor people in hell realms who don't deserve it. You know, you can use 3517 hertz, 3571 hertz to revive spirit bodies, 117 hertz combined with 800 hertz, 125 hertz along with 1185 hertz. You know, speaking of that, I saw my poor dad in that timeline in Santa Muerte's realm. I saw, like, I should have took a video of it too, a very thin LAPD helicopter. It's just, I gotta get this, that's the most evil shit. It hurts seeing that, you know, it's a lot of pain and misery that I go through, and, you know, I emote it in the worst of fucking ways, but that's an evil wetback. That motherfucker's enough to make you hate them fucking people, and I try not to. I try to be objective. But, I saw her lording over me in the next lifetime. Who did that? So I gotta get rid of this bitch spiritually or physically. I gotta take care of her. I believe her lower self's name is Eliza, Elsa Serrano. Maiden name, I think Vargas Martinez used 694695 hertz. See, it's the most evil fucking thing. And I felt that difference too. I felt, you know, disconnected from, you know, God, from my, you know, through my father, you know, from being disconnected from my dad as a result. That's scary. And I felt disconnected from my dad. You know, I'm feeling it right now. When I woke up yesterday, I felt, I felt dead. I felt empty, like nothing going on within. And, you know, she keeps disconnecting me from my parents, you know, who connects me to that timeline. That's an evil motherfucker. That's some evil shit to have on you, that what I'm enduring. You know, I feel her trying to control my consciousness, and her objective is to pull me into Santa Muerte's hell realm. You know, she was about to attack me as I was, you know, going to proselytize this. And I felt that difference. I felt, you know, my poor dad saying, help me. Turning my dad into, dad's a good man, you know. Innocent man. He was born in Zacatecas in his last life. Humble like them people. I want to kill that wetback bitch. I want to do something, not physically, spiritually. I got to. And teach this motherfucker a lesson, you know. Baron saying, I was told, wish I would have got a picture of that bitch. I wish I would have got a picture of that bitch. That would have ended it. Removing, you know, my road spirits, very powerful parts of my consciousness. I feel this is some evil shit. And you know, got me confused right now as to what's going on with them. And I keep having my next life incarnation. You know, I'm supposed to be born in Cajun country with red hair. At first, it was going to be to a senator who was actually a client in this lifetime. A very, very nice guy who, strangely, I saw as a dad. And that, you know, by evil, greedy ass, energy vampire motherfuckers got jilted. I gotta handle this shit before I go into the next incarnation. I hate this wetback bitch. I hate her. Can't stand her. Like I say, that fucking shop is open. I forgot the name of the UFOologist, by the way. I think it was Mark something. He he worked for the IRS, and he did another video talking about black people and melanin and saying how powerful we are. But he was one of the ones to state that we are, in fact, humans, alien royalty. That Miami aliens thing was the most depressing thing I've ever fucking seen. The fate of them people. I'm going to say something right now. If you see a cigar-shaped UFO, run in the other direction. If you have problems with that shit, this is what I wanted to say. They're under God. Those Zeta Reticuli and all of that, you know, a lot of UFO researchers would proselytize that. But during this curse, I actually saw that. Because when I was watching the Miami aliens, you know, taking hold of people's consciousnesses, there's ways to break that. They use alien tech from Zeta Reticuli, as I explained before with the Granada Treaty, Granada Treaty, to control people in MK Ultra. I gotta come up with a frequency to break that, like what I'm experiencing with Parafin and Tavarez. With that being said, poor higher self is trying to hold it down. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I just want to make sure shit don't get tweaked where I lose contact with my God self, my father, really, my parents. I can't stand to see them like that. You know, here's the things for Mayer Amschel De Rothschild. Use 1150 hertz, 115 hertz. Free from my consciousness, for entity attachments of it. It's sick. With that being said, I was watching the video, and they had people's Archangel Michaels taking them out. Some of those people they were controlling the Archangel Michaels to put them on the ship. And one person who was allowed to document it from what I understand, was destined in the future to do something really, really big, but he was going to be put in a different timeline, and that actually happened. You know, the aliens were allowed to go after him, but and you know, beam him up and place him someplace else. You know, they were about to pull him into their realm. I saw like jungles with weird, kind of like something you would read on Reddit's No Sleep. And then he saw the police and he just sighed relief, and some of them got kidnapped. That was some evil shit, because it's why I tell you, if you see a UFO, a cigar-shaped UFO, you run. There was a guy by the name of Ted Butchkowski, who was big on the UFO circuit. And one thing he said is, you see a cigar-shaped UFO, any Zeta Reticuli reptilians, you run. Those motherfuckers, what I was shown with the Miami space aliens, and when they were fucking with them people in the mall, that was a terrible fucking fate. That was depressing. While you're alive, they take all of your organs out. They actually talked about it in Fire in the Sky, and in the Guadalcaramba Paringa event in Brazil, and they eat you alive. And then they take your consciousness. The Rothschilds and all of that do that too with Illuminati victims. They learned it from all that shit. They place you somewhere where, and this is what happened with Mark Zuckerberg, with the demiurge, from what I understand, they place your consciousness in a place where people they place your consciousness in a place where it's just solely your consciousness. The Illuminati did it to Eminem. And that's all you see, and you don't even exist. Your consciousness is just, you're not even aware of your existence. That's a terrible fucking fate. And that's what happened with them poor people with the Miami space aliens thing. You know, it's so much interesting shit I want to talk about, but if I could just get this Maria Tavarez wetback bitch off of me, man, everything would be fucking great. I can't even honestly speak my fucking truths because of all this shit. The soul swapping, which is just hard for me to come to terms with. And you know, I saw it with my parents. That's my connection to my God self. My God self don't even work right because of those timelines, so I know something is up. Something ain't right. With that being said, in the obstacle position, we got the Four of Pentacles, and I see you having to overcome a major obstacle, something very, very fucked up, something very, very evil, something that's extremely destabilizing. Present position, Two of Swords. We have motherfuckers that's holding you back. And you have to make a decision of what direction you want to go in. King of Swords, future position. I see you going in the right direction where you're gonna get help, and there's gonna be somebody that's powerful. Sun, I'm gonna say something as well. You have problems with aliens and shit, call the Egyptian gods, because they're the ones who set up the whole moon matrix thing. That's the same thing with the Illuminati. The Illuminati reports to the demiurge that directly under them. They ain't necessarily under Satan. You have a problem with them, you go straight to the Egyptian gods. That's why they're trying to, I learned in the spirit plane, do certain things to put them, the Egyptian gods, under them, so that they can, you know, full on control humanity by controlling them. That's why they do the one-eyed symbol, you know, trying to take the power of Horus and all of that, but in a very shallow manner. You know, go to them, the Egyptian gods. You know, they have, you know, power over them. And they have power over God as well, in a way. So anyways, we got justice. Shouldn't say that shit. Now, that's why I gotta do something about this shit. This is disgusting. Justice. I see you coming to a place. This one is subconscious. Goals position, where you get equality, where you on an even kill. Four of Cups advice card. something is saying, let somebody else take the reins, is way beyond your comprehension. Kind of how people proselytize with God, or really more accurately, this is where the cross comes from. Never fuck with a cross, by the way. You know, as I saw with burqa-wearing entities and necromancer entities that wear the KKK hats, but they'll be black or white. You know, they guard the 4 points, the 4 elements on earth in the material realm. With that being said, the cross, the reason why it goes up partially but low is because you're being taken into a hell realm. That's a perversion of the 4 corners of the elements. You never want to wear a cross. Wear an ankh. And ankhs were, pervasive all throughout in South America, Cambodia, all throughout the world. That represents a sacrifice. That's why you never want to fuck with the cross. The cross represents the sacrifice. It's Jesus, the real one, who gave birth. He was actually, in fact, black to the existence of the God industrial complex on the moon as we know it today. So the 4 cups, you're stuck in the stasis, but something's telling you, let somebody else handle it. Let the Egyptian gods handle it. You yourself, I forgot the name of that UFOologist, but he proselytized. He remarked how we're alien royalty in the space system, in the universe system. We're seen as royalty, our bloodline. I wish I could remember that guy's name. He worked for the INS. He also talked about black people as well, and the profundity and the weight of our melanin. We're like no other. Fears in your hopes card the fool. I fear deception, you being led by somebody that may not be good, but be careful. 3 of Pentacles, I see you going to the right source. Good people who have your best interests at heart, make sure it's not too late. With that being said, for one more personalized reading, I wish I can go back to the way I was. I got to get this wetback bitch off. It's so much I want to talk about with what's coming with the ice reads and all of that. It's so much. I got to get this bitch off. If you want a more personalized reading, please contact me at ravenbyterror22@yahoo.com. Somebody